Here we go. Take three. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of Swimming Against the Stream. We are a weekly podcast, and we're going to discuss the journeys and the challenges of becoming a new streamer. My friend JG and I are going to have 2 different streamers on each week and cover various topics. My name is Deke. You can call me Deekster. I've been streaming now for a little over a year, mostly Madden, sometimes foolishness. I'm joined by my co-host JG603. JG, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Really looking forward to getting this thing started. If anyone doesn't know me, getting to know me here. Coming up on a year streaming. Started out as strictly a Madden guy, but as things progressed, kind of started dabbling in different games. Kind of more of a COD guy these days, but it is what it is. You know, I just think it's a fantastic community. I'm so glad to be part of it.
Appreciate you so much. And our 2 first guests for episode 1. First, G Girl Gaming. She has a smile that absolutely can generate enough energy to run a city. She's part of the Premier GG team. How you doing, G Girl?
I'm doing great. How are you, Deke?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
All right, guys. So my name is Gigi, G Girl, and I'm mainly a COD streamer. I do play 2K. I dabble in some Madden at times. I'm not that great, so I don't stream it. But pretty much, I've been streaming about 6-7 months now, and I know I have a dog too, and I live with my fiance. I have a dog and a cat.
Awesome stuff. And also this week, one of the community legends, he's been streaming, I think, back during the building of the Ark. He was streaming during his time off from helping Moses. And that's our guy, Roy McCracken. He's the founder of XHG Stream Team. Appreciate you so much, Roy, coming out. How you doing, sir?
Well, I do apologize, as we just had the dogs go crazy here. So, you talk about stresses of streaming. And the very first one that we could talk about right now would be if you have dogs, okay? You can't control them. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. But thank you for having me on the show, Deke, JG, JG, GG. It's good to see you up here, too. That's going to get confusing. But you talk about streaming for a while. Yeah, it's definitely been a while. I started out on YouTube. I don't even know how long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, probably.
Wow.
And mainly streaming PUBG at the time on the PC, and was a YouTube partner on there for a little bit, and then came over to Twitch when YouTube changed their kind of rules about how you became a partner on there. So I switched to Twitch, and haven't looked back since. Full-time job, so I don't stream that often. A couple days a week on a schedule, and then sometimes throw in an extra one here and there, but it's been a great experience so far, and looking forward to the rest of this year, and just trying to get better with each stream. But appreciate you having me on the show.
No, for sure. And if I can say anything, Roy, I mean, you are one definitely that I'll call you the Madonna of streaming for the fact that you're always reinventing yourself. You're always reinventing your stream, and it keeps it fresh. And I tell you, it's something that I watch for and I look forward to. So basically, a little bit, we won't do this every stream, but for those who are joining in on Spotify, welcome. And for those watching on YouTube, appreciate your support. And the whole thing behind this stream was being a new streamer myself, a little over a year, 16, 17 months. And the one thing I notice is we're hitting an all-time high, a spike for new streamers. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing. They're popping up everywhere, just in the Madden community alone. And there's even people, I see as just as recent as last week in streams, I'm thinking about starting streaming. And again, that's a wonderful thing. But I also notice another spike that goes along with that. And that is the social media post regarding I'm taking a break. Some, pretty straightforward, just take a little time off, yada, yada, yada. But some a little more, concerning that, For whatever reason, this isn't working. I'm just going to stop. I need to get away. You know, some things are a little more concerning when it comes to mental health. And there's already enough things going on in society today that don't help our mental health. That, you know, this fun hobby that we were all going to try, you know, shouldn't be one of those things. So I thought, you know what, why not a podcast to talk with other streamers that are much smarter than JG and I and have been around the block more than we have, but also have different opinions. So, you know, today we're looking at, we got JG, you know, he's a full-time streamer. He's grinding like nobody's business out there, day in and day out. Myself, I'm part-time at best. With a full-time job that takes care of 50 hours a week, you know, it's all I can do. G Girl, I think you're kind of a part-time streamer. You're a weekend streamer. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I'm part-time. Gonna be moving into full-time.
Going to be moving in full-time. Fantastic.
Yep.
That's fantastic. And Roy, as you said already, you know, you're a part-time streamer when you can as well with you know, a full-time job and stuff in real life.
Absolutely.
So the topic today is the hidden stresses. You know, we all started out not too long ago with Roy being the exception. I'm sure he can remember. You know, and what are things that caused us? First off, let's just cut to the chase. You know, and I'll say, for me, I did. I felt the need to take a break here a couple times, even though I'm only part-time streamer, I had to step back. And if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you folks too. JG, was there a time when you had to step back and just take a break from streaming?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, sometimes it's just getting that extra day off because I mean, I typically run Monday through Friday, run a good 4 to 6 hours a day. That will add up very quickly. I found, and that's something that really stressed me out early on. Was I kind of overloaded my schedule. I was pushing myself to, you know, stream 30 to 40 hours and started to not really enjoy it. So it's like sometimes you got to realize, you know, less can be more. I think that's a big thing that not a lot of people realize. Some people go, oh no, I need to be on, you know, 8 hours every day, but that's not the case. It's really hard to provide quality content for more than, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours, and it's something where not a lot of people realize it until they do it themselves. You know, there's a reason why a lot of people aren't streaming all day. That's because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, mentally and physically.
For sure. G Girl, you had a comment?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with him.
Yeah.
I was just agreeing with him.
While we're talking with you, G Girl, was there a time when you stepped back in the last 8 months when you were streaming that you said, you know what, I just need to take a breather away from the mic?
Absolutely. And it's been several times.
Sure.
I think this is something that we go through. I mean, I'm newer than some of you guys, you know, 6 months in, and you know, a lot of people think that it's just turning on a camera and streaming for 7, 8 hours, you know, etc. There's so much that goes behind it. Whether it's supporting, whether it's networking, whether it's improving your stream. So at times I do have to take a step back, and sometimes that helps, but you know, I come back stronger and I feel refreshed, but I feel like it's a common problem and not a lot of people really talk about it. So
No, and why do you think that is? And then I'll open up to the three of you, because as I agree with G Girl, you know, we all take breaks, and I can't really think of a streamer I haven't seen take a break in the last year, and you know, but we don't talk about it. There's taking a break and we come back, and that's why I kind of want those to know, you know, I'm going to jump on here and start streaming. It looks like fun. Well, it absolutely is fun. It's a blast. But G Girl nailed it when she said there's those hidden stresses, you know, of the things outside the stream, because it becomes addictive. Can you talk on that, Roy? Like, what were some of the things you noticed when you first, aside from YouTube, when you started on Twitch, what were some of the things that you were blindsided by that you didn't think would be stressful besides your dogs? But I mean, I think that was wonderful. They were barking. That was perfect. What were some of the things you experienced that were like, holy cow, I didn't attend on this?
Well, so when I started on Twitch, I was lucky enough to have some people that were partnered on YouTube with me that came over, and we got into a large Discord. And when I say a large Discord, I don't know if any of you guys are part of a Discord that has 3, 4, 5,000 people in it.
Gee.
And I became a mod in that Discord. And in that Discord, you know, there may be 400 or 500 messages every 30 minutes going through, and they expected you to keep up with that. And it was a full-time job when you're off stream. And I think a lot of the people that come and when they watch the streams, and people that don't stream themselves, they don't understand, just like G Girls said a minute ago, what goes on off camera and all the work you have to put in between. Even though I only stream a set schedule of 2 days a week, all the stuff you have to do between those 2 days, all the social media, all the people that you try to help out, you try to get in the streams and all those different things. And if you try to do too much, especially with a full-time job and a family, it just becomes overwhelming. And I had to step away from that because it got to be more than I could keep up with. I mean, they expected you to hype up any new streamer on social medias, on Instagram, on Twitch, on Twitter, go in there, and talk about them, follow all these people. And I'll tell you guys one thing, and I'd say there's very few people that have fallen into this, but where we had to go and follow all those people to, try to help them, get follows. First of all, never do follow for follow. It's a trap. Don't ever do that. It's stupid. But in case you don't know, there is a limit on how many people you can follow on Twitch. I don't know if anybody knows that. It's 2,000, by the way.
I didn't know that.
I just learned that a week.
So here's
ago.
the deal.
Yep.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
I'll give you an example. When JG rated Gigi the other day, in order to follow her, I had to go up and pick somebody that was live that I don't even know who they are anymore and unfollow them to follow her.
Wow.
Okay.
It's wild.
So,
wow, G girl, someone passed away on his chain because of you.
Thanks for that.
So,
Thanks for that. I feel special. I don't know what to
rest
say.
in peace, 1, 2, 3, 4 streamer that I don't remember anymore. So,
yeah, rip him. G girl took you under there.
Yeah.
Okay, wait,
So,
it wasn't me, Roy, was it?
let me look here. No, you're
Here
still
I
good.
am
You're still
giggling.
good.
It was probably me. That's only dig screw.
You're still good, but who in the world would think you're following 2,000 people? That's insane. Why would you be following 2,000 people? But I'm just saying, there's all kinds of little things that you can either get hung up on that takes away so much of your time from your real life that it puts a stress on your real life, or there's things you can get sucked into as a streamer that mean absolutely nothing in the end. Like the follow for follow means nothing. Okay, means nothing. You're better off as a new streamer having 10 people that follow you, that 2 or 3 of them come to your stream every day, than having 5,000 people that follow you and 2 or 3 people come to your stream every day.
Exactly.
It's just a number and it
We've
means
all
nothing.
seen that. We've all seen that.
Yeah.
You can have a couple thousand follows, but you got the same 5 people in chat. Those follows, they look good, but they don't mean a whole lot.
They don't mean anything.
They don't
mean
translate.
much.
Yep.
Yeah.
They might mean something like if you try to get a sponsorship and they say you got to have a certain number, but even that's usually they look at how many average viewers and things like that. So so that's one of the things for sure, Deke.
That's all really good information. And you touched on something there, Roy, and I mean, I can go in 13 different roads right now from the feedback from G Girl, JG, and yourself. But let's pick one. Let's pick the supporting, because that's one for me that I really, really enjoy, but I didn't realize how much time it was going to be, because it's so many things, right? And JG, I know that you do a huge amount of this. So I'll start off with you. Like, let me ask you the point blank question. Where do you draw the line? I mean, there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many hours in a day we can allocate to Twitch and our hobby. What's your game plan? Because you support a lot.
Yeah, that's a big thing that I've had to cut back on. Like I still do my best to lurk when I can, but being in a chat consistently really started to take away from the personal life, issues with it then girlfriend, now fiance, where it's like we're watching TV and I got my phone off to the side and I'm trying to like sneak those chats, hop in there, say what's up, or I get added and I'm like, hold on, I just got to respond. And the next thing you know, it's 10, 15 minutes. I'm holding up the evening, instead of cooking dinner, I'm hanging out with people. You gotta remember that even though streaming is definitely a full-time thing, because I think networking is absolutely key. I don't think most people would have much success if you weren't, putting yourself out there, jumping into different places, getting to know different people. But I do think that there's certainly a point where you got to remember that this is a job or a hobby. You still have stuff outside of this, and you got to remember that family will always come first. And that's something where I think taking a break comes into play too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you find yourself diving too much into the streaming, and you're like, I gotta get back to where I was before this. And it's a tough balance. It's a very tough balance.
It is. Roy, I'm sorry. Go ahead, JG. My apologies.
Oh no, I was going to say, especially with so many new people coming out recently. I mean, there are a lot of big streamers that you kind of want to go hang out with. Good streamers and different, but there's no time anymore. It's getting very very full directory, I would say, these days. But, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, you can't be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Not enough time in the day to spend quality time with everyone that you want to. So it's tough to balance for sure.
Yeah. Roy, you're a huge fan of the superhero Batman, and I know why, because I swear sometimes you actually are Batman the way you get around streams and support all those in your XHG team. You know, how do you manage that with a full-time job and a full-size family?
Well, first of all, just let me talk about that in general. We're talking about, trying to help out new streamers. And, I see something that happens. There's very few streamers, maybe 1 to probably 1% that actually are just successful off the bat. And some of them get this huge success right off the bat and they start streaming 7 days a week. Okay. I can't stress enough. Never do that. Never, ever do that as a new streamer. Okay. You're talking about having enough time to support other people. I think one of the things, there's a huge synergy between streaming and being in other people's chats and supporting them and just being there and being a presence. Make you a schedule of 3 days a week, 4 days a week, maybe at a max. Take some time off for yourself and then take some time to be in other chats and support them. One of the reasons I only stream 2 days a week, usually my wife goes to bed pretty early, so I could stream every night if I wanted to, but it almost kills me to stream when I know someone else is streaming at the same time that I know, and I want to support that person and I want to be in that chat. So I don't do it usually. I never do it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, you talked about the time with XHG. So when we started this, I was going in and pulling clips from everybody and making a video every week.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
And it went on for about a month and a half. And it got to be so much extra work that I just couldn't do it. And then the clips stopped working on Twitch all the time. They work about half the time now when you make one. Yep. So we kind of backed away from that because I don't know if you know how much time it takes in to put clips from 20 different people together and make a 7, 8, 10-minute video.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, it takes me hours to do that, even though it may not be the most professional looking thing. It's the best I could do at that time. So, there's a lot of time and effort, but it goes into a lot of different things. But I would definitely say that, as someone starting out, please, even if you get instant success and someone comes in your stream as soon as you make affiliate and gives you 100 subs, you're going to be hyped. That's going to be amazing. You can't expect that to continue night in and night out. It may for 1% of the people, and somebody might just kick it off, and just skyrocket. But if you expect it to happen every night and you start streaming 6, 7 days a week, and you do it every day, and that you're not talking to other people, you're not in other streams, then eventually when that falls off, you're going to have this huge fall, not just from, hey, I'm not getting these subs, I'm not getting these bits, I'm not having this success, but this fall emotionally. And I know you were talking about that, Deke, about people putting these posts out about, I just got to this point where I've got to step back from this. And I think a lot of those people are the people that have fallen into that. Mm-hmm. And that early success, it's not going to continue forever. Streaming is a roller coaster. I'll stream one night with 3 average viewers. I'll stream another night with 50 average viewers. And I'll make $100 one night and make 0 2 nights in a row. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to keep some kind of even keel emotionally, or it's just going to fall apart. So
that's something that honestly has gotten to me sometimes. I mean, obviously during the day, you're going to have slow days. It's just the nature, people get busy at work. Maybe something else comes up and you sit there and you're like, man, how come I can't be this or that? But you got to remember that everyone's journey is different. I mean, it's never going to be the same for everyone. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's for some people, apparently it is, but you got to remember that this is.
My mom always said that. That's a great saying, JG.
This is not an easy thing. I mean, it's a lot of getting lucky at the right time. Yeah. With part of it, sometimes when you're new, you catch fire for a month or two, and then things, quell a little bit because you're no longer the new face, the flavor of the month, I sometimes will call it on Twitch, where you got this one guy explodes for a couple weeks and then kind of drops back down. It's just the ebbs and flows of the platform, and you got to remember that for every slow couple days you have, you're gonna have a good day. There's always the good days when you got great people around you, and the best part is when you got chat that's always there. When I'm playing Warzone with the guys, like, it's always a good time regardless of what's going on around you. Sometimes you even forget you're streaming just because you're so into what you're doing. Yeah, which is always the best days.
Just don't forget completely.
Yeah, you're right.
G Girl, so tell me something. You're involved with Premier GG Gaming, a huge team.
Yep.
I want to make sure I word this carefully so I don't put you on the spot, but does that add anything over and beyond? I mean, of course it does. You're part of a team now. But is there any additional stress that comes with that and your commitment to that team and what you need to do to, support your teammates?
To be honest with you, I'm going to be completely 100%.
Yes, please do.
Absolutely not, because
Okay.
it's a professional esports company. There's nothing that's really stressful about it. When I first started streaming, I joined like a stream team. And in the beginning, it was kind of like Ray was saying, like, hey, go support everybody. Let's do this. Let's follow for follow. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. But no, that has not been a stressor. The stressor has been kind of, for me personally, I like helping people and supporting like us all. And I find it hard to find time for myself because like right now, guys, you can't see the bags under my eyes. But like I mod close 20 channels, and it will be like 4 in the morning, and I'm still modding, I'm still supporting, like, and then I'm trying to, make sure, what am I going to talk about the next day? Who am I going to play with? What am I going to play? Is my audio, is my camera good? Constantly thinking of new ideas. So pretty much my brain is Twitch 24/7. So when I take a step back, I'm like, okay, I need to better balance my life, my fiance, my family. I mean, it's a pandemic right now, obviously, but you're always thinking on your toes how you can get better, and you have 5 or 6 or 7 things going on at once. So I think it's really important to choose quality over quantity, and you're not expected to be in everyone's streams. I mean, be there when you can. And if there's some people that really expect you to support them to support you, then they're not the people to follow.
That's great advice.
I love that. I love
You
that.
should want to follow people because you love their stream.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Deke, I came in a raid with Austin Eckler, and right off the bat, I'm like, okay, he's one of my favorite streamers, and we hit it off. Honest to God. And if anyone was there that night when Austin raided Deke, it was so great.
Epic. That was
so
crazy.
great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Appreciate that. And and I can't agree more. And you guys all bring excellent comments, and you're all talking from the heart, and I appreciate that. And likewise for me, it's, we've all checked out, I'm not going to mention any names, of course, out of respect. We all checked those YouTubers who have been streaming for years, and they offer advice for those starting out. I watched them when I was just getting into Twitch, thinking about doing this before my son really encouraged me. And it was all these rules. They all had the same 5 rules. And the one rule they all said was, get yourself a schedule and stick to it. Well, I'm sorry, I'm calling horse shit. I'm calling so much horse shit that it's not even funny. I could plant my garden for 3 years. And my reason for saying that is, this is only for someone now inside my umbrella. I'm blessed, and I'm truly, truly, truly blessed to have a supportive cast here. My wife is so supportive of my stream and my son, and I'm lucky. However, following that strict schedule, I found myself getting more and more stressed. So I got to change up things coming into the summer that I didn't do last year. I stuck to that schedule last year and ended up streaming when it was sunny and 30 degrees. And I should have been, relaxing by the pool with the family or in the garden or doing whatever. And then my day off was a flipping rainy day. And then I get mad. Or it's a nice day and it's like, oh my gosh, I really just wouldn't mind, just going out and believe it or not, cutting the grass. I love mowing the lawn. But no, I said I'd be on tonight, got to be on tonight. And I'm telling you, it really, then it becomes, in my opinion, a job, and it becomes, I don't want to say acting, but it becomes hard. It's not a natural flow. Yep. And I have changed it by times because, juniors basketball games take precedent over everything. It's a senior year. So I have changed schedule times because of that. And then when I stream a Thursday instead of a Wednesday, I'm cool. I'm cool, and my chat's cool. I think the key is notice, make sure you put lots of notes on Twitter, and, you get it out there. But for those who just starting streaming, if I can give you any advice, don't listen to that bullshit on YouTube that you must have a schedule, you must stick to it. It's nice to. It's absolutely nice to. But if it causes you stress and grief, and it's becoming painful, don't. You change it up that makes it worth your while, whether it's the weather, whether it's your family events, whether it's just what G Girl said, just getting your own time to get that switch off in your head thinking about Twitch. But
exactly.
And I
had what we called summer hours, when during the summer, like I let everyone know ahead of time. I'm like, if I wake up and it's beautiful out, I'm taking the day off. I'm gonna go to the pool. Like
Exactly.
because every time I was like, oh, it's supposed to be nice, like next Wednesday, the day's gonna be off. You better believe that day's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be rainy. It's gonna be windy. It's gonna be cloudy. But the days I don't plan off, it's beautiful. And then you're just sitting there going, man, I should be outside right now. I feel that. I feel that, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
That's the beauty about streaming. I mean, you can create your own schedule, and
Exactly.
if you have a following, I mean, they'll be there,
Mhm.
you know. And if
Yeah.
you network, they'll be there.
Yeah.
That's kind of my take on it.
That's
And
great
that-
advice, G-Girl.
Yep.
JG, like I really mean, my hat's off to you, young man. I mean, you're going at it, 5 days a week, at the least, and then you're jumping in, helping out where you can, supporting, which is usually 6 or 7 days a week, and then you're doing stuff like this, where you're jumping onto a podcast or a CFM game. How often do you just say, you know what, I gotta recharge?
Oh, there's certainly days where I kind of, especially Saturdays and Sundays, very often is just you won't see me anywhere. Sometimes I'll hop in from time to time, especially if it's for a special stream, especially for shows like this. I love doing. But you certainly get to a point where it's like you're just doing too much. You're streaming for 5-6 hours, supporting for a couple more hours. Wake up first thing in the morning, I'm on Twitch. Right before bed, I'm on Twitch. Like I'm in chats, I'm hanging out, doing the choo-choos on the hype trains. Like it definitely adds up, because even though it seems like such a simple thing, just putting down your phone, even if you're not talking stream, even if it's like YouTube or Facebook or anything, just get away from it for a little bit, clear your mind, man. Like you just got to relax sometimes, because it's bad for your brain too, and your eyes and all the mentals, just staring at these screens all day. Like I have trouble sleeping a lot of nights because I don't
we never even talked about
get
that,
away
right?
from the lights. And I mean, sleep is
That's
a massive
great
thing for
point.
me,
Oh my gosh,
especially
yeah, that's
knowing that I
next
gotta wake up, I gotta be on stream by 11:30, otherwise chat's calling me late, so I'm like, I gotta be up.
Exactly.
If I sleep
People are
in, I
waiting
screw
on
everything
you.
up, and
Yes, you nailed it.
so it's like, man, if I have a bad night's sleep, do I take the day off now? Do I hop on later in the day? Oh, sorry, I got to run errands is always the go-to, but it's really tough sometimes, because you want to be there for everyone because they're there for you, but at the end of the day, you got to keep yourself number one.
Yeah, for sure.
I had a good night's sleep in 1997.
I love
I'm
it.
sure that was
How
it.
about in the womb?
I feel that. I feel that.
In the womb,
Yeah,
right?
right out of the womb.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Roy, let me ask you a question, sir. So, has there been times when things didn't go so well at the office, but you were supposed to stream and you drag yourself on? Have you had those days?
Not really, because I
Okay.
usually end up not streaming when that happens.
Gotcha.
I would say there probably were times very early on when I would do that. But if I'm in that bad of a mood for something that's happened, no matter what it is in real life, I usually don't stream. Even if
Good
even
advice.
I only have 2 scheduled days. It's Monday at 9
Mhm.
p.m. and it's Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. That's only 2 days I have scheduled. But even if it's one of those and something really bad's happened, I usually post it on Twitter that I'm just not going to stream.
Okay.
So I usually don't say why or anything, but that really comes through. There may be some people out there that are able to turn a switch on when the camera comes on and be all
Mhm.
happy-go-lucky. But
Mhm.
for me, I think that's going to come through that
Mhm.
that I don't want to be there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's not a good time for anyone.
Yeah.
So I don't do it.
No, for sure. Or, it's, and I've been there where it hasn't been the best day at the office, and I come home, well, you know what? I think tonight I'll have a couple beer during the stream. Well, a couple turns into 4. And I mean, that's pretty much the COVID thing. The COVID theme has been just overeating,
Yep.
over drinking,
yep.
and no sleeping. That's been my last
Cheers.
16 months. And I mean, yeah,
Which
it's,
fittingly works with our lifestyle of being
Oh
streamers.
my gosh.
Kind of what
And-
we're expected to do.
and this is the only thing before I move on to G-Girl. This got to be the one biggest thing that's making me in the back of my mind say, do I need to stop this? Okay, I tried it. I love it, but it's not working out because, I mean, the alcohol consumption, yeah, I've always enjoyed a drink, let's be honest, but not to this extent. The weight's not coming off the springs it normally does because my eating habits haven't changed. My sleeping habits are still terrible. I mean, 4 to 5 hours a night, as you guys all have too.
Yes,
G-Girl
yes.
spoke about that. It's tough because it's not, well, first of all, let's pretend we don't go and support anybody after our stream. We don't go mod anybody or hang in that raid. You still can shut it down and go to bed. You're
Right,
wired.
it takes hours.
Oh my
Takes
gosh,
hours,
Negro. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I'm blessed that my wife understands that, and she knows she's not going to see me in bed for a couple hours after I get done. Well, then it's it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning my time. I get up in the morning 6:30, head to the office, but you get adjusted to that, and your body works on that, but it's not healthy whatsoever.
No,
No,
it'll
I
add
don't-
up too. That stuff adds up, man. It piles.
Yeah. See, girl, since you started streaming 7 months ago, has there been anything IRL that you have given up? Because you had to, because of the time commitment of the hobby of streaming and really important things in your life. Had there been other things that you used to do that you gave up because of streaming?
I mean, it's hard to say because of COVID,
Mhm.
but definitely I put some things in the back burner. Number one was definitely family time.
Mhm.
Time with my fiance, I think, was a little, I won't get too much into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But one thing for me personally, and I know nobody else can relate, but I've been struggling with a chronic Lyme disease, and I've been kind of not putting my health first.
Mhm.
And when I got into streaming, it wasn't so much streaming 7 days a week. It was more like everything we talked about, like streaming, supporting, networking, content creating, all the videos. And I did not put my health on the front burner. And I ended up getting COVID on top of everything. And I found myself getting really, really stressed out. And so I definitely sacrificed my own mental health and health, if anything. So I'm just being real, I'm being raw, I'm being
Absolutely. I
honest.
appreciate it. Really do.
So that's why I have to take a step back sometimes and
Mhm.
I'm still learning a schedule that works for me. But 100%.
And that's
That's the important thing. Yeah, what works for you? That's the key. That's absolutely the key there,
And
especially
those-
with health stuff.
Sure,
going on.
JG. Yeah, those
Yeah,
points
so
are
what
so,
works
so,
for
so
me-
points are so great, and that's the whole idea. I want those people to think about this. I mean, yeah, you can come on and it's a great hobby. It's a wonderful hobby, and you can turn on that go live and you can play your game, and that's that. But I'm telling you right now, if you sit there playing that game and that's all you're going to do, unless you're tier one dub dot, or if you're Tim the Tap Man, you're not going to build an audience by them coming to watch you just play a game. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I know my guy JG. This kid's good at any game he plays. I mean, there's no question about that, and I enjoy watching him play games. But when I hang on the stream during work time and stuff, I'm there for the laughs and for his personality, and that's what I'm there for. Even though he's fantastic at all games he plays. And I mean, and I know, G Girl, you're great at COD. Roy, there's not a game you haven't played or you haven't mastered. But again, it's 3 streamers right here in this podcast with me that I tune in because of the personalities and just the whole charisma. That's the word I'm looking for, charisma. G Girl, I stopped in there and say hello to you that day. I couldn't turn it off. It was so much fun. And it's another stream that I love to get back to all the time. But it's like we just talked about. We got our days where we try and take our breaks and stuff. And it's unfortunate some people are streaming there, and then that eats at you. I mean, we touched on that earlier. But that's one of my main things is the guilt of not getting to the other streams. Kind of shutting down on Saturdays, away from everything, Twitch, Twitter, everything. Kind of Saturday's my day where we do anything but social media. And then I find I'm catching up on Sundays, and I get cramps in my stomach because I missed this, missed that, and it's just never ending, right? And we sound like we're being really negative about streaming. I want to be very cautious.
No, but they're
That's what we're here for, is to let you
Yeah,
know
that's
it's
just it.
all
JG,
sunshine.
this is the
All
reason why we
sunshine,
talk about doing this. Yeah. This is wonderful. And we all, I can guarantee you, I know these 3 folks, and we all love what we do. I mean, Roy McCracken has the passion of 1,000 suns. I mean, he just loves streaming. He loves his environment. He loves his people. So does JG. So does G Girl.
Absolutely.
But buyer beware. It's not all. If you're a person that can come on, can do it, and it doesn't get to you, my hat's off to you. It's amazing because I can't. There's stresses, and I think the more we talk about it, the better it'll be. That we're all going through these, and it doesn't matter who you are. It can be.
Yeah.
I see partner streamers that are like they're totally just need a break, and then it's tough. And go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Roy.
Well, I was going to say, I think the whole point of what you're trying to do with this podcast, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is trying to shed some light on on the behind the scene things, what it takes
Yeah.
to do it, and that everything's not all sunshine and roses. There are a lot of things that you've got to do,
Mhm.
a lot of stresses that come up, and we could talk about all the positive things that come out of it,
Sure.
the friendships
So
that we
many.
build, and
So
so
many,
many
so
people
many.
that we meet, and the relationships and all that. That's the good parts. You know, you talked a minute ago about the games we play. And I get into so many streams where people are. Let's take Madden as an example because it's the one that a lot of us know. A lot of people that tune into you know Madden. To me, JG. Um, so you see people getting totally upset when they're playing a game. Normally it's weekend league. People getting mad and screaming at the TV and everything else, screaming at the game. I've never seen JG do that. I don't think. Yes, I have. But anyway, I don't think anybody that comes to your stream as a real follower, as somebody that's really going to be there, cares in the least what game you're playing. They could care less about any video game. They may come
Right.
because they like that game or whatever. But I try to tell those people that the game is maybe 10% of your stream.
Mhm.
You're 90% of that. You and the community and the people that are in the chat talking and the relationships that you build. And if that game makes you that upset and that mad, you know, maybe play a different mode in it, or maybe
Mhm.
play something totally different on stream, or just turn the game off and switch to just chatting and talk to your people and get away from it. Because if you have that much stress during a game, playing a video game that's supposed to be fun, streaming that's supposed to be fun, then there are other issues that you need to think about. Okay,
Mhm.
you know, how many? I've never done it myself, and I'm not knocking anybody that has, but how many people that listen to this podcast or are even sitting right here with us have smashed a controller playing a video game? My
That's something
son has.
I've never done.
I've never done it, but my
Never
son
done
has many
that.
Never
times.
done it, G girl? JG?
No,
Hey,
I have
JG.
not.
Hey,
I see
JG, check
JG's
in.
face right
JG,
now.
check in.
Oh, JG.
So
And-
I will say I think a big part of it is I'm someone who's very passionate no matter what I get myself into.
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, a lot of people who play games are competitive, but we know
Yeah.
some are more competitive than others. And I'm certainly that kind of person. I never
Mhm.
really got an outlet to do much competitive stuff. I wasn't really in the best of shape. So, you know, sports wasn't a thing. So it was all about video games. And me and my brother
Right.
had quite the rivalry growing up. Eventually, I passed him a little bit there. But I will say that I think a big part about getting upset with games is you take it too serious. And we got to remember that it's just a game. That's all it is. It's all it all is. It's just a
That's the
game.
game.
It ends, you boot up another one. Now, if you're out here, you know, playing for money, of course you're going to be upset. But at the end of the day,
Right.
I started to realize it's just a game. You lose, you load up another one, and you're moving on. Like you said, man, people are there to watch you play the game, but they're really there for you. They're there for the music, the community, the vibes. They're not
Some
there
are
to
there
watch.
for the smashing controllers.
Well,
Yeah.
I
They're
feel
usually not there
Yeah.
to watch, you know, win Warzone every game with,
Yeah.
you know, 30 kills. That's not what they're there for. If they want to see that, they're going to go hang out in Nick Merckx, but that's not what JG is. You know, we're there to have a good time,
And-
get into some shenanigans, and occasionally throw some stuff.
How
And, you
many
know,
streams
go
have you
ahead,
gone
G.
into? Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
G girl, you go
How
ahead,
many
please.
streams have you gone into, you know, where you want to support them, but they have their head down the whole time,
Yeah.
screaming, saying, "Oh, we're gonna get a dub! Like, I gotta get the stuff for you. I gotta get the TikTok video out. I gotta get the bullfrog." Like, you know, I think a lot of Twitch they have the wrong idea of what it is because
Yeah.
you're entertaining them. Of course, you're playing video games. The win comes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have your head all the way down, I mean, maybe streaming isn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
if you want to take it further. I mean,
Too,
I
yeah.
think I think that only works for the people who have thousands and thousands of viewers.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
of
they
course.
can sit there and talk to the other people they're playing with and concentrate 100% on a game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's like Deke said, that's the people that are the top 1% of competitive players in whatever game it might be, whatever game it might be. But to the average streamer, to the person starting out, that chat and that relationship is 100 times more important than that game you're playing. And please, if you start streaming, don't ever forget that. That's one of the most important
Good,
things.
that's great advice.
That is a fact. When you
JG
stop engaging in chat, that's when things start to go downhill. That's where, you know, people start to leave because they want the interaction. If they wanted to watch a YouTube video, they'd go do that. They want the
Right.
back and forth. They want the conversation. They want, you know, to be able to talk to the streamer. And, you know, some people probably, I know a lot of the younger audience, they look up to streamers as celebrities, which, I mean, some very much so are, but they love that interaction because it feels it's something special to them that they don't get.
absolutely. You know, it's true. I can remember that when I first got on Twitch, you know, 2 years ago. when a popular stranger would give me acknowledgement, for a good song played. It was great. It was
It's
great.
so cool.
Yeah.
So cool, especially if you look up to the guys.
I will say, smashing the joystick, and I know, and listen, JG, there's no one, more passionate than you are when it comes to gameplay. I see that, and I'm there for. I love it. I love your kind of rage, but you always do move on. You recognize that, and you move on.
That's the key. That's the key. You gotta remember that when that game ends, it's over with. That's the thing with my CFMs. I tell my chat, I'm going to be a little ragey. I might say some rude things, but that game ends. That person's still my friend. I still love them to death. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter what they do to me in that game. It's over. I'm done with it. Now, does it leak over a minute or two? Of course it will. Of course it will. But don't come into my chat right after the game. I'm still probably heated. But other than, you just got to remember, it's a game. These are your friends, man. Like you gotta respect these people. I don't like when people play games and are just blatantly disrespecting, like just doing rude stuff the whole time. Like I would never appreciate that. I'd never appreciate
Right.
And I've seen you, had enough of Madden and gone and played Animal Crossing just to get away from it. But I will say, I do know what you're saying with the competitive thing, but I don't know why. I don't know if I'm wired. Well, we all know I'm wired differently. I mean, it's just, I guess I'm not being judged on my Madden play, so I don't give a rat's ass. But I mean, as a coach, I was right or wrong. I was infamous for smashing clipboards because I did not like losing. And it's like, even Tanya can't explain why I don't get mad when I play video games. And I was in CFM once where I wasn't on stream playing. I got kind of mad, but I guess the CFMs are different because you are pit against someone that you're trying to win. But
Yeah.
So as a coach in real life, Deke, I would never sit down while coaching basketball, not for 1 second, never stop screaming, yelling the entire time. And I don't know. When I sit down here, that never comes across. Ever.
That's not you as a streamer, so that's funny. No. I find that it's interesting. There's a place where we're alike because same thing, Payson, you're John Thompson coaching Georgetown in the '80s with a towel in your mouth and intense. But I don't see that when you're streaming. You're calm. No. If I want to go and get wound down before I go to bed, I'll head over to Roy's stream because his voice and everything is just relaxing. It's just
so relaxing.
It's
a fact.
They've been tempting me to do ASMR, but I'm not doing it. Okay.
Oh, you don't want to do this? You mean you don't want to tickle the mic?
I can't say that I don't want to, but we'll see.
That'd be interesting.
If we're winding down here, chat, if you have any questions for any of our guests, please put them in the chat now. And while we're checking that out, I will start with I'll put JG on the spot first. Let's end the episode each week with some advice for a new streamer. It can be in line with our topic today. And I'm not ruled out. I may reach out to G Girl and Roy again and carry us over to next week because there's a couple things on my list here that we didn't cover under hidden stresses.
That went very quick. I'll tell you
Absolutely.
what.
It did, and we went over our time too. I apologize for those viewers who thought it was 45 minutes, but
a couple of minutes were warm-ups. We were warm-ups for a few there.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely reach out because I think we got more to go. But JG, what do you have to offer anyone they're not streaming right now? They're thinking about starting tomorrow, hitting that go live button.
So I think the biggest advice that I sort of got it, but I didn't get it as explicit as this would be to remember that it's not going to come quickly. And if it seems like it is, it probably won't, if that doesn't sound wrong here. So pretty much what I'm saying is, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your good days, but there will be bad days. That's just the nature of the platform. And you got to remember that everyone's journey is going to be different. You can't look at the directory and go, oh, blah, 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 just started. And they're this and that. It's not that way. People do everything very different. Everyone gets there differently. But I would say before you get started streaming, if you have really high hopes, if you're watching this, you're already halfway there. Get to know everyone around you. Get to know the community. Get to, hang out with certain streamers, certain stream teams even. Remember to not be aggressive. I don't like people who do that, drop in your chat and they're trying to talk about stuff, or you see them post on Twitter tagging 20 different streamers, hey, come by my stream. That's not the way to do it. It's just a weird look to me. You got to get genuine relationships that mean something. That way, when they're your friend, because I met Deke through Gamepad's channel, ended up there off a Madden Live raid. And I remember just dropping song dots and Deke just being like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Come to find out that not quite, I would assume most people with my music taste assumed I was a little bit older. But that's the kind of thing that's interesting.
I did.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I found out that you were 17.
Yeah. 26 now, 26.
I'm joking, JG.
But that's the crazy thing about this platform is I would never have thought that one of my best friends is twice my age living in Nova Scotia. Like I would never in a million years imagine that, and that's something that's really cool about this platform that we got to remember, guys. This is about fun. It's about making friends. If it ends up being a job, fantastic. But this is the best hobby you can have. Let's be honest. This is the best hobby.
Appreciate it. Before we move on to Roy, I want to say thank you for the great questions. I have them written down here, and we will address them. Thank you very much, Roy. Some good advice for someone starting tomorrow.
Well, I'd say if you're going to start out streaming, I see a lot of people that just start out streaming by just firing up stream and expecting people to be there. And you might get that, like JG said, you might be that person that just is amazing and it clicks right off the bat.
Mhm.
But spend some time getting to know other streamers, getting in their communities, talking to them, Twitter, social media. But don't be pushy like JG said, but get in there and talk to people and get to know people. I've seen so many people that come in my chat every time I'm streaming or every other time I'm streaming. And then when they go live and I see it on Twitter or something, that's somewhere I want to go and support that person. If it's just with the follow, and rest in peace, I'm following somebody else so I can follow them with the 2,000 followers. But anyway, getting in there and supporting them, talking to them, it just means more. Don't be that person that comes into a Twitch chat and says, "Hey, I'm new here. I just started streaming. Can you follow my channel?" Okay.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
So bad.
So one of two things is going to happen. You're going to get the nicest person in the world that's going to come follow you. Well, maybe three things. Nothing, or you're going to get banned from the channel immediately. One of those things is probably going to happen. Don't do that. Come in and talk to people and try to build a relationship with them. And when I say relationship, it's just being there. Just being there and giving your time. Giving your time to other people means so much. At least I know for me it does. I want to support the people that support me, and I don't mean that the people that give subs and bits and money and all that. I'm talking about the people that give their time. They give their time and care to be there.
So valuable.
Care to be there. I think that's pretty good saying. So, if they care to be there, I'm going to care to be there. So, that's one of the things I would give advice for. So.
Yeah, I definitely
fantastic.
agree with that, man. I mean, I would. It depends on your day, but I'd rather see the extra viewers and extra subs because that means people are there for you. If someone drops a bunch of subs and then you don't see them the rest of the day, you're like, well, what does that really do for me? Like, of course, making money's fun and all, but at the end of the day, I think we all want to grow. We all want to be bigger. We want to be better. We want to continue to improve. And while sometimes, of course, the monetary stuff can help, it doesn't always. Yeah. I mean, as someone who does donate to a lot of people, I don't expect anything back. I support people I enjoy. If I get the support back, that's wonderful. But I mean, I like your content. I'm going to support you. And that's something that I think is also really important.
Yeah, I have a full-time job, and the little bit of money I make on Twitch pretty much goes right back into either the stream or into supporting other streamers. Okay, that's not my income. I have a job. Okay, that's what I do. I could understand if it was my job, but so when I say care to be there, it's being there. It's not about that. It's awesome. I mean, it's hyped. It's fun. It makes you feel good for a little bit. It's great, but it's not. That's not for me. That's not what it's about. So
yeah. And something real quick. Someone mentioned tabbing, which I love having 1,000 tabs up. But I also do think it's a double-edged sword here. When let's say you got the tab up, you say hi once, and I don't see you the rest of the stream. It's like it's tough. It's tough. Like I would almost rather have you just hanging out with me in your ears and let me know you're there, but you're not there. Like it's a weird thing. It's a really weird thing because like
you're JG
right
at
the same time. Letting me know you're there, but then you're not. It's kind of like a weird thing. You're trying to respond to them, and they're just not there anymore.
That's all I can do at lunchtime, JG.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Once in a while,
Which is why I always like when they're like, "All right, I'm back to work. All right, I got you. I don't have to be talking to you and talking to the wall here," which is nice too. Yeah.
G Girl, do you have anything that you'd like to add? If I'm going to start streaming tomorrow, what would you tell me?
Well, just to feed off you guys had excellent advice, honestly. But
for sure.
Number one thing, Rome was not built in a day. I'm fairly new to this. Obviously, Roy, you have the most experience for this. I would say be authentic, be yourself. I think a lot of people come on here and they try to have this persona to try to make people happy. Like the number one thing you can be is authentic. And
Absolutely.
I would say also another thing, I'm just being completely honest. Networking, as you guys said, is huge. squeaky wheel gets the grease. Get yourself out there on platforms, form relationships when you can, when you have the time. And a lot of people that I've noticed, they quit because they obsess over the numbers or the money. And they will come into my Discord and say, "Why I'm so depressed? Why aren't I making money?" If you treat it as a job, I feel like you're going to fail
Absolutely.
right in your face.
Yes.
I mean,
1,000%.
and just another thing, you don't need an SMB7 mic to start off. You don't need a PC like this to start off. A lot of people do that and then they quit. So do it because you want to do it. Have good relationships, and it's constantly a learning curve. So just be in for the ride, and it just takes time.
I love
That's
that
good
about
advice.
you don't have to have all this tech to start. I mean, we've seen. I mean, even I started on PS4 stream just with my PS4
Exactly,
camera,
constantly,
little
yep.
box in the corner.
Yep.
Once I had a little bit more people hanging out, a couple good months, you're like, okay, maybe I'll dive into a PC. But I really hate seeing people dump thousands into something when they don't really I'd say justify it quite yet, because it's a very expensive process. I mean, a
It is.
good gaming
yeah.
PC streaming ability, you're looking at probably close to a couple $1,000s once you include monitors and keyboards and all that stuff. And this stuff breaks, you got to repair it, you got to fix it, you got to get new parts, you got to
Exactly.
swap stuff out. Like, it's a very, very expensive process. And I have no problem with people who go PS4. I mean, many big streamers start PS4 Xbox streams, and it ends up building that way. I mean, at the end of the day, I think regardless of how the stream looks, it's about you, the quality of the games, and the quality of the streamer. You can be the most entertaining person in the world with a crappy camera, and people are going to come through because you got that juice, you got the charisma, you got that action,
And it comes with the stream. I mean, nobody started off with a, nice Elgato mic like Roy has, and it's all money and time.
Oh, it's crazy. Can
I add one thing, Deke?
Absolutely,
we talked
absolutely.
About, I think both of you guys made a good point about people coming in the stream and just saying one thing and leaving. And for me, this works for me. I'm just talking to new streamers here. It may not work for you, but I put a command in. It's simple. It's exclamation lurk, and it tells me that person come in and they just got a tab open for me. And to me, that makes me feel better than the person that comes in and says hi and I don't hear from them the whole stream.
Yeah,
for me, it does.
Idea.
It may not work for you. It may not be something you want to do, but for me, that I know that person, they cares enough to at least come by, but they're doing something else. It's usually somebody that's streaming when they do that. And hey, that works for me. So just an advice. I mean, it may not work for anybody else, but it's good for me.
That is great. Yeah.
Great advice.
Like if you're cleaning your house or whatever.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that, especially as someone who also will just have it on in the background. Like during dinner, I always got streams up. Sometimes I talk, but if I talk, dinner's gonna take an extra hour. So I just gotta bring up the stream, let it go, and just do my own thing in the background.
Oh yeah, I think G Girl just said, clean your house. I mean, we all done that. Clean the kitchen while we're watching or listening to somebody on their phone with their earbuds in. I haven't worked out listening to streams, but I put a batch of beer on. Doing all kinds of things. You're not just really sitting there, but you got them on. You're listening to them, and hopefully you're not missing anything in chat because your phone's over there in the island.
Yeah, right.
But keeping G Girl on the spot, and I apologize for this. We had a great question come in from one of my mods, Maleficent, and who is a young lady thinking about streaming, and she's asking you, being a female streamer, are there any additional stresses because of that you find or have discovered over the last year?
I'm just going to be real with you. I haven't had too much problems with it. I can see. I won't get into detail.
Sure, absolutely. No, for sure.
So every person has their own style, and I feel like there's a stigma with females that sometimes the way they dress or whatever, sometimes that brings in viewers. But no, I have gotten some backlash in the past. Just recently, one of my supporters, he left my Discord and said that I only want clout because I'm a female. And that really was hurtful to me. But, I'm here. It doesn't matter what gender you are, who you are. We're all here to have fun, work hard, have a hobby. So for me, I don't really feel any other pressures because of my gender. But maybe some people do.
Mm-hmm.
But
very fair answer. Very fair answer.
That's good.
And I mean, you touched on a great thing. I think that's really why I'm going to beg, plead, and maybe pay you and Roy to come back next week, because one of the things I had on here we never got a chance to talk about was the toxic stress. because people think
Oh yeah.
everything's
Oh, this
just
could be a whole
just
other stream.
your mods solve everything. I love my mods;
Yep.
they're the best in the world. But
Yep.
mods aren't there for you after hours. So
Yep.
you know that's a whole new thing that keeping privacy and stuff intact is still a good conversation, because that's one that I know a lot of people don't count on when they start streaming. I know I didn't. Another question, I really, really like this one from our guy Dragon. If you could go back in time, and we'll start this time with JG. If you go back in time before you start streaming or the day you start streaming, is there anything you would have done differently? JG.
You know, I think I'd probably surprise some people in saying I don't really think so. I think the only thing would be sometimes I'm like, maybe I could have started a little slower, because I really was going. I had like 40-hour weeks Monday through Friday. That's not even including doing Sunday streams at the time. But part of me goes, maybe that helped you to start. Maybe that helped you open the door a little bit. But it's a thing where I wouldn't like to go back and change a lot in life, because you never know the old butterfly effect. You don't know.
Oh, I agree.
If I had done this or that differently, what could have happened? Like,
Just
in my
talking
head,
streaming,
I would have
yeah.
loved to get to know the community before, because I mean, I was on Twitch from probably like September to January before I really met this group of people. And, it would have been nice to know people a little bit sooner. Maybe if I could have gotten started streaming a little sooner. Sometimes you wonder, oh, maybe I would have gotten my foot through some extra doors for some opportunities that came. But at the same time, I think it's important to remember this is my journey. This is it's going the way it's supposed to go. I'm a big person believing in, things are going to happen for a reason. I think that there's a reason why I haven't, gone in certain directions. So I think that going back and changing stuff is really tough. I think the only things I would like to go back for is when I think I had that stream where I ended angry and I rated out without saying bye. Like things like that, like the little things. Like
I remember that, and that hurt my feelings. I'm gonna be honest.
It hurts my soul. It hurts my soul, because I cool off for a few minutes. And I'm like, no, I know you are. But it stinks when people dedicate their time to you and you don't leave them on the right note, which is why I'm very specific. Closing time comes on. That's closing time, boys. I like to. I'm a creature of habit, but yeah. I don't think I would change my journey. I think it all happened for a reason.
Fantastic feedback. What do you think, Roy? I know it was a long time ago, but if there's something you do differently the day you started, what would it have been?
Well, I would have started streaming when I was JG's age, but 14.4 modems didn't support Twitch, so we couldn't do that.
It's pretty hard to stream on Atari.
Yeah, so you remember the days? Hey, out of the Atari 2600, that was new, man. That was awesome.
You guys hear Roy McCracken trying to hook his Etch-a-Sketch up to the computer?
Hey, I had a Tandy computer. I was on the computers when
there you go.
I remember the first time hooking up and actually laying your phone down and calling somebody on a modem, and we thought that was awesome because we typed a word back and forth. I'm old, okay? Not as old as you though, Deke. Okay, let's get that straight right now.
Close. You're close.
I was waiting for it.
But anyway, some things I would do differently, and I've talked about this on stream before, and I know Deke's been there when I've talked about this. We talked about, I don't know if we said these words, but taking it too serious, taking things way, way, way too serious. So you probably don't ever see this come through on a stream for me now, but 2 years ago, I was in a community, had some great friends in there, and I was streaming probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 nights a week, probably 4 nights a week, and it got to a point where I was seeing people in other people's streams that were close friends of mine, but they wouldn't come to my stream anymore. And I was playing a different game than they were. They got off on, I think it was Escape from Tarkov is what they were playing. And I can't stand to play that game, so I wasn't joining them. I was playing Overwatch at the time, streaming that probably every other night, basically, about 4 nights a week. And I would get on there and I would see them. They wouldn't even come in the stream, wouldn't say anything. And one night it kind of boiled over, and I made a real butt of myself on stream saying some stupid stuff that I should have never said. And I lost some good friends from that. But it taught me a valuable lesson that these relationships you build, you never, ever take them for granted. Never. Because, it just takes one thing to say to somebody in real life or in streaming that, could end that relationship. And that particular person, one of them I've spoke to a couple times since then, and the other person that was one of the people that built that community with me has not spoke to me one day since then for 2 years. And streaming turned around for me after that, because I think I quit taking it so serious, and I started thinking about the people that, you know, even as a small time streamer, and I'm a pretty small time streamer, but there's still people that I affect out there, whether it's positive or negative. So I try to be as positive as
Mhm.
possible, and and never take anybody for granted. So that's one of the things that if I could go back and change that, I would. But also that one event probably made me a better person. So
I'll be honest, Roy, and thank you. That's a fantastic story. And I was there the night you shared it. And I think I mentioned in chat, I'm pretty sure, but if I didn't, the advice and the story you told that night was very timely because it engulfed my entire interest right on you talking about this subject. And I really need to hear what you were talking about at that time in my streaming career. So I thank you for that. So you just spoke about how you influence people. That night you influenced me and really helped me see things differently. So appreciate you, sir. G-Girl, anything you would do before you hit that button 7, 8 months ago, 9 months ago?
I mean, there's not a whole lot. Feeding off of what Roy said, I think the number one thing, and we can talk about this maybe another week with toxicity and all that stuff, is don't take stuff to heart. I think in the beginning when people left my Discord or like weren't coming into my stream, like I took it to heart and I may not have handled it the best way, and it definitely fired back in my face.
yes.
I think I could have been a little bit more professional because at the end of the day, if you were trying to make this your end goal, you want to be professional, but definitely like you said with the relationships, do not take them for granted. Quality over quantity.
Yep.
And in the beginning, I was just around people that just, I don't know, just over time as I grew, I kind of found myself, communicating with people who just have a good vibe, and going forward, that's kind of my goal. So.
Yeah, that's important. Making sure you have the right people around you. It's an old saying. The whole better to have 5 great friends than 10 okay ones, like that kind of thing. I'd rather have my close group.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, the people who are in my stream every day that I talk to outside of stream, like these are the relationships that I'll have for a very long time. And it's something that it's important to know who's there for you and who's there for themselves.
And another thing to step on that, in the beginning, I was part of a very disorganized stream team. I won't say the name, but I left on good terms. But all they did was make fun of their own, and they kind of trolled me on the way out. And to lean on a positive thing, I could have done differently. I could have, publicly bashed them, but I went out on my good terms. So I think I'm happy with the way I've handled some things. Other things I could have handled better, but it's really important just to surround yourself with people with good intentions and all that.
That's fantastic advice because it is the one thing that I didn't expect was the relationships that I have made. I mean, I knew I was going to meet people, and that was the whole idea of it, right? But I didn't know it's going to become people that I'm thinking about when I'm not streaming, knowing what's going on in their life at that moment, thinking about them and how they're doing. I was giddy as a 12-year-old schoolboy sock hop when the weekend when JG was going to propose. And, I know when different people Maleficent's not feeling good and she's ill and she's not good. I'm thinking about how she's doing and reach out to her. You can't help it, right? These relationships you made that you're linked up with and you're thinking about them outside in your real life. And that's really, really special. But before the one last question, I will say my advice is, my gosh, I forgot it already. Look at that. We were talking about... goals. Yes. So my regret is, and I'm with JG, the whole butterfly effect in real life, never second guess any decisions that you make. There's a reason why the rear view mirror is much smaller than the windshield. Don't spend time looking at it. Look ahead.
I love that. I love that.
But in streaming life, I had some real modest goals with streaming when my son pushed me into doing this, because I really thought that it was going to be just me on here, meeting a few people, having fun. And so I had really small goals, and I surpassed them very quickly. And then for year 2, I said, okay, we're gonna run these goals a little higher. And I wish I wouldn't have done that, because then that brings in disappointment. And then that brings in second guessing yourself. You're looking yourself in the mirror, which I'm a big fan of, holding myself accountable. And so that can really eat you up. And I wish I was, okay, these are my goals the first year. Let's go one step instead of going this. I mean, because things happen, you know, you can't stream as much. There's so many more streamers that are out there that are coming online that are fantastic streamers. And you know, let's face it, I know the number of viewers in Twitch are growing, but I don't think they're growing exponentially as much as the streamers are. So it's going to make everyone's numbers kind of decline a bit. And you can't look in the mirror and blame yourself for that. So keep your goals relevant. You know, your first year, make them very small so you're not, you know, disappointed or letting yourself down. And the second year, if you have a great first year, don't think, okay, this is going to be better second year, because it probably won't. It's like a sophomore quarterback. It's usually not a good year. So bring it down, and, you know, that way you're doing what you can do, and everything's still within reach. So that's my advice. Keep your goals attainable.
Exactly. I mean, temper expectations. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing with everyone's got their own journey, man. You can't look at other people's trajectories. You just can't. Not everyone's going to get that. I mean,
Absolutely not. No.
Just
Yeah.
right place, right time. Sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and things are just slow for you. Maybe it's, you know, changing a time slot. Maybe it's, you know, getting to meet a couple new people. Just sometimes the little things can really expand your potential as a streamer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
One thing I just wanted to add, I know this is going back about the advice.
No, it's
I thought
fantastic,
this was
G-Girl.
helpful for me. Don't compare yourself to somebody else. I think that's been one thing that's helped me. I think a lot of streamers try to reenact what other streamers do, and some things are fine, like little games like marbles or whatever. But just be you. Don't compare to somebody who blew up overnight because of TikTok or whatever. Just be on your own journey, and I think that's the hardest thing in Twitch. People get, you know, this is a camaraderie, not a, you know,
Exactly.
we're not. So
Yeah, they see something that
would
works for
recommend
one person there, so they're like, "Oh, let me do that too." But
Yes.
it doesn't work.
everyone has their own journey. So
Especially because, I mean, not everyone has as good a detector as others, but I can usually tell when someone's putting it on a little bit. You know, you're like, there's no way this person's like that all the time.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
you'll see that sometimes. You'll see that sometimes. You know, you catch them off guard sometimes. You're like, all right, I get that. I mean, everyone gets amped up here and there, but other times you're just trying to do something that we can tell you're not, and I think it just affects the viewership too, or the viewing experience. You want
That's excellent
genuine. I
advice.
think that's the most important thing, is you be a genuine person.
There's not too many people that can pull off a Dr. Disrespect
Oh
and,
my
and be, you
God.
know, and,
You're
and,
not
and be
that guy.
and make yourself into a character. If you do that, the people are going to expect you to be that character
Mhm.
every single
All the
Mhm.
time.
time that you hit that live button. And if you're willing to do that, and that's the only man I know of that's done it, if you're willing to do that, then more power to you. But that's who you're going to be on stream.
I couldn't imagine
So,
doing that.
yeah. So if somebody's going to get to know you, I just think it would be better to get to know you and not somebody else. You know, I have the different streams, and we all know it's a joke and for fun when we do the 80s streams, when we do the Batman streams, and I laugh at myself as much as you guys laugh at me. But I hope everybody can tell that's obviously a joke and it's for fun, and it's not trying to be somebody else. But
Exactly.
you know,
Oh my
but,
gosh, no, that's
those things are
definitely
fun.
for fun, and you do a great job at it. We look forward to it, and I'm
New
so
Batsuit
glad-
coming. New
Yeah, I
Batsuit coming
heard, I
Tuesday.
can't wait. Adam West incoming. So
Yeah, real quick, that's something really good.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, don't take yourself too seriously. This is for fun.
Yes.
Even if you get laughed at, they're laughing maybe at you, but they're also laughing.
Just laugh with them.
They're
Just
also
play it
laughing
up.
with you.
If you can't laugh at yourself,
Yeah.
you're probably in the wrong thing. If you want
Oh
to
Exactly.
my goodness, yeah.
You cannot
okay.
take
God,
yourself
yeah.
too seriously on this platform, and if you do, I think you're going to be hurting for it. You got to
Yeah.
have a good time.
You gotta have some
fun.
fun, man.
You got to be outgoing. You
Yeah.
got to sometimes reach out the comfort zone. You got to.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just what it's all about.
Fantastic advice. So the last question we had, and I think this is a fun one, and it's on everyone's mind. And G Girl, you mentioned it on my stream a while back, and we all got our own opinion. But someone asked, "Do you think playing non-copywritten music is a fast lane to partner?" That was a question in the chat. It's a great question. Thanks, Casio. I'll start because I have an opinion on non-copywritten music. And that is that I will continue to play it until I'm banned. And here's my thing. I understand everyone's, I'm going to use the word fear, concern, whatnot, and a lot don't play it. And a lot will not play it. And Twitch is dead against it. And I'm not saying they won't ban you, because they will. We know. They ban people before. Your VODs are a very important thing, even though I'm sitting down with a dozen of mine. I got to get them cleaned up. I think I'm way too small for them to care about, even though smaller streamers have gotten banned. It's 3 bans. It's like baseball. You got 3 swings of the bat for you are completely out. And the other thing is, we haven't heard anything lately. I really do think the first sweep late last summer, early fall, was to clean up who they could early. Let's face it, when they're done with us, what in God's green earth are they going to do with TikTok?
Seriously,
Are they going to tackle that next? I mean,
Yeah.
Twitter. I mean, I really think they're trying to do their best and clean things up. They got Twitch doing some patrols that we can easily evade. There's even a system now where you can leave your VOD up and it won't play the background music. There's that out there now that I got to learn very quickly because that would help me. But for me, I'm going to continue to play it. Do I think that there's a fast lane to partner? No, but I can guarantee you that I think it would help you if you don't have copyright music in your VODs down below. And if you're deleting your VODs because of the music and you have no VODs down there when Twitch comes to look at you, it's not going to help you. They want to see your VODs. They want to see nice, clean VODs. That's my thoughts.
That's the tough thing, especially. So I do a lot of stuff on stream, specifically the hot ones that I really like to clip out and put it on YouTube when I can. But if I'm not hitting record through OBS by the time I finish stream, it's muted because whatever song on there they don't like, and now that whole segment of my VOD is gone because you can't hear me. You can't hear anything.
Muting. Yeah.
It's getting frustrating because I'm someone who definitely there was a string there where almost everyone was running random music, nothing, just try not getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And it really affected the vibes to me. I mean, I'm someone who, whether right or wrong, am going to gravitate towards certain music that if I hear that music, I'm instantly going to click with you a little bit more. I mean, like a guy like DC, I love the music he's got. The classic like rock and stuff like that. If I hear that, I'm feeling right at home.
Mhm.
If I had that on the background, I'm good. But when you have like the generic like weird like techno stuff in the background, I can't listen to it. I mean, I get people want to avoid their DMCA stuff, but I think that having something you don't enjoy in your ear the whole time is just something that doesn't work. And the weird part is no music's almost worse when you're just that dead air, whether it be a long outro on a song you got through the YouTubes or something. It's awkward. I mean, there's something about the music that really brings everything all together. It just brings the vibes, brings the channel together. Just makes it feel right for me.
I agree 100%, but I will notice that today we haven't played one song, and the chat's been hopping for the last 2 hours. And G Girl, I'm going to hit you up with this one because I'm really curious because I know you. You know what? You are definitely playing by the rules, and I fully respect that. I truly do.
Yep.
And I was in your stream for long periods of times, and I never noticed the lack of music. So, what's your take on that?
So I have a little bit of take on this, maybe because I don't, Madden's more like a game where I feel like the music comes, with it.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know this. I just found this out under content in your settings under video producer. You can see if you have any copyright strikes. I don't know if you guys do that. Go to
I did
video
not know that.
producer. Yeah, settings.
G Girl, you are a
content.
fountain of knowledge.
I know, right? I just
You
found
are
this
more
out.
of a kick-ass
You'll be
COD
banned
player.
Hey,
by the
Ryan,
end
I
of
don't
the
know if
day.
you're in here.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Look at that.
my personal opinion, like it sucks. Every once in a while I'll play some music, but I don't know. I feel like I'm working so hard and this is kind of my bread and butter. So I don't want to do anything that takes away
Sure,
from
I
that. But
respect that
there's
100%.
nothing I don't have any, like Deke, I love your streams. I have nothing against that. So I just find just kind of music everyone can relate to, maybe a little lo-fi, just something to bring in
Mhm.
Yeah.
and make it a little, just bring something to
Yeah.
the stream. So
'Cause I
Yeah,
think it's
I
fantastic.
definitely agree too with the Madden to Call of Duty thing. I think Madden is something you don't need the sound, but I mean,
You need
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sound on
even our
Call of
guy-
Duty.
even our guy Raw will yell at me all the time because he's like, "You listen to
Comms,
music?
comms,
Comms,
comms.
comms.
I gotta hear the game. I gotta hear the game. I
Comms,
can't hear,
comms.
you didn't hear that person behind you? You didn't hear that person behind you? No, I'm sorry. I'm listening to music.
To the left, to the
Chat
left, to the
likes
left, to the left.
Yeah, I don't hear
Sorry.
it. Nothing, just
And
Sorry,
with
whatever.
Raw dog.
with COD, you can
We're
have
doing it with
these
love. We're doing it with
background
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, G Girl, because I mean, like you said, you don't play the stuff to make sure that you are nice, clean VODs, but your streams are still fantastic. You have a hop and chat, so I mean, you are living evidence that it can be done. That you can.
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
can stream,
play.
yeah.
There's certain playlists and stuff on YouTube. I play it, and my stream isn't around music, although I love music.
Mhm.
But I don't want to take that chance right
Sure,
now.
I respect that 100%. I do.
Yeah.
I do for sure. Roy, what's your take on it, sir? What's your experience take on it?
Well, unless I'm gonna play elevator music, I won't be able to do my '80s streams anymore. So it's gonna be kind of rough.
And we all love
So-
80s stream.
What was the
Yeah.
elevator like back in the 80s?
It was called
How do you play
Stairs.
Madonna like a virgin on elevator music?
I don't know. It's probably possible. I think I used to play that on
I'm gonna try and
the
find some elevator
recorder,
music. Yeah.
on the recorder maybe
Yeah.
back in the day. But I don't know. Now I'm thinking, hey, I'm gonna have to check this site on there that G Girl just said. I've got a bunch of strikes there already.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I love listening to music on there. I'm normally it's old school, it's rock and roll, it's old school hip hop stuff. It's whatever. When we listen to it in Discord a lot of nights and play games, we listen to it while I'm streaming. Who knows? I don't know. My thought process is I'm going to play it probably until I get banned, because by the time I get banned, it's probably time for me to stop streaming anyway. So, I don't know. So
Don't say
Going
that,
down-
Roy.
Going down swinging.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They do have other avenues that just opened up in the last couple of weeks that are streaming services. Who knows? Maybe they'll let me play music.
Mhm. I've
So-
heard that as well.
Somebody that's
I've heard that
grinding
as
for
well.
partner,
Yeah.
and there's like a way to bypass it, and she plays music every day. So
So
Oh, check it out.
OBS Studio does have a way to separate the sound to where you do
Mhm.
not have the music track playing
Mhm.
on your streams when it's on playback. It's still on there on live, so I'm not sure how they look at that,
Interesting.
and it's pretty easy to set up. But
It's really neat because our guy Swing Games has that set up, and then when you check out his videos, I did the other night to see about the SSL, and his talking is no problem at all. Everything's fine except there's no music. It's really, it's really neat.
That's very cool. I'm gonna have to check that out
Yeah,
myself.
yeah,
'cause,
I have to do that
I
too.
go through my
I
VODs
did it a
and
bunch of
I
times.
delete most of them because
Yeah.
it's just muted.
So-
Like with all
so
these
sh-
mutes, I'm afraid to get DMCA'd, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just delete them.
So Streamlabs OBS is supposed to add that. They have that on their Twitter that they're looking to add it, but right now it's currently only available on OBS Studio. So if you,
Okay.
I don't know what you're using.
Okay,
but
so
if you are
Slobs
using-
don't have it yet. Okay, Roy, thank you.
Yeah. So if you
Okay.
want to do that, you do have to use OBS Studio,
Okay.
and there's tons of YouTube videos on how to do that, and it's extremely simple. There's audio tracks on Slobs, and there's audio tracks on OBS Studio. However, there's not a Twitch track. There's a Twitch track only on OBS Studio. And you can pick that, and if your music is going through that, then that will not be on your VODs. It will only be you talking, your game sound, whatever that might be,
Okay.
and
Very
no
good advice.
MySpace.
And G Girl, can you once again can you walk us through that path again, G Girl, for the seeing the strikes?
Yeah. So if you go to your creator dashboard
Mhm.
under your settings,
Mhm.
go to content on the left hand side,
Okay.
and go to video producer.
I'm checking it live.
And then on the right hand side, it will say copyright your channel and how many strikes you have.
Interesting.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah, I got-
Copyrights
I
on your
got-
channels.
I got a bunch of mutes, but no strikes. I guess that's a dub.
Does
I
it say
guess.
mutes? It says how many times they mute you.
You have 0
Interesting.
copyright strikes on your channel.
Nice.
I must be a god.
Oh, I'm looking at mine now. Oh, I got 1,410. Holy crap. Just
I mean, the
joking.
chances of them, unless
Yeah,
you get
sure.
like really big, the chances of them looking at it is kind of,
Yeah, I think that's where we're all in a kind of the same boat here. I think if they're knocking out people on this end and not the top end, then you're doing the wrong thing. It's just talk about focusing your strength in the wrong spots. Twitch, just work on the stuff you need to improve. Don't
Listen,
worry
they-
about our.
That's a whole
like-
new show. This will probably get me banned. A whole new show about, Twitch and what they take from us and, what we
Oh my
provide for
gosh.
them is, a whole new thing. And, it's whether you're a partner, an affiliate, whatever you are, we're making some good money for Twitch at the end of the day.
yeah, we are.
Some
That's a fact.
darn good money.
That's a fact.
Mother
So I-
Russia has to have her share.
Yeah. That's a whole new
But unless
show.
Say.
you're going to apply for partner, because I think they look at what, 6 months, right? Is it 3 months or 6 months?
I think it's 6, I believe. I could be wrong.
Unless you're ready to apply for that, I don't really see
Yeah.
Yeah.
problem with it.
Yeah. Partners is lasting my mind. My mind's surviving. that's my
Exactly.
short-term goal is surviving.
Providing.
Yeah.
Our short-term goal is swimming against the stream. Just
There you go.
Well said, well said. And with that,
Just keep swimming.
I can't thank enough G Girl Gaming. And you were streaming today, dear?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Can I get a shout out, please? One of my wonderful, fantastic, good-looking mods for G Girl Gaming. Check her out this afternoon, please. You won't regret it. Great streamer. My friend Roy, thank you so much. And I said, I think we need to finish this. I do want to touch on the hidden stress of toxicity. So don't be surprised, Roy and G Girl, if I reach out to you again.
Oh, sure.
Thank you so much, Roy. Appreciate all your insight with your experience. And of course, my handsome debonair co-host, JG. Thank you, sir, for coming in here on your day off. Appreciate it, my friend. Everyone in chat,
Anytime.
thank you. All our viewers on Spotify, thank you very much.
Thank you guys so
check us out on
much.
Twitch. Thank you, G Girl. And on YouTube viewers, thank you as well. We see you all next week on Swimming Against the Stream. Appreciate you. Take care, all.
Thanks for having me.
Love it.
Thanks for having us.